like it.
I'm Cody Rourke from Locked On Broncos, and this episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or you're cross-training with your favorite instructors like Alex Toussaint. It's training reimagined to make your workout more personal. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with features that help you plan, stay motivated, and hit peak performance. You can let yourself run, lift, flex, and go while Peloton handles all the rest. Plus, Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching, tracking your progress and suggesting weights that challenge you so you can get stronger. Plus, the new movement tracking camera, it counts your reps and corrects your form in real time, making sure every rep is safer and smarter. So, let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
Thank you so much, Cody. Time for a little No Fence Riders, guys. And Anthony is not here. So, I couldn't change the graphic when Bull texted us this morning.
Yeah, I flip-flopped on one of these.
So, on the first graphic, you're going to see Bull in the yes category. He wants to change it to a no category. The first question was...
Flip-flopper today, Bull.
Man, he been moving all over the board.
The first question was, Shedeur Sanders threw for 209 yards against the Raiders. Will he throw for 210 or more against San Francisco? With Bull's flip-flop, we are officially a dead-even split. Tyvis, Earl, Jason G said, yes, he will. Dustin, Jay, myself, and Bull said, no, he won't. Bull, why'd you flip-flop?
This morning I was thinking about it, and I'm like, young quarterbacks especially, it never goes in a straight line up. It goes, I think he's going to take a little step back, and then next week he's going to play really well and step up. So I think he'll be okay this week, but I really think this is going to be a fast-moving running game. I think they'll be able to run a little better. The Niners aren't very good up front, and I think he's going to finish with like 170 yards, not quite 210. So I made the last second. I think when I first answered, I got caught up in a little Shedeur mania. And I was like, come on, he's still a rookie. There's still not a lot of talent around him. So that's why I flip-flopped on that one.
I look at it, and the reason I say yes is you know, you go back and you watch the film. There's a couple of things, and there's a couple of plays where there's other plays where it was easily fixable. Like Jerry Jeudy doesn't just inexplicably I don't know what he was doing, trying to get his move on, trying to get his moonwalk on. You know, there's hidden yardage there. There's a couple of throws where you see the quick read is there. If you hit Quinshon Judkins out on a swing pass, you give an opportunity to catch the football there. I think the encouraging part is his growth from the game he played against the Ravens to the Raiders. And what I wanted to see, and what everybody wants to see, is the growth again and taking another step, right? So now we got rid of some of the sack stuff. Now let's see if we can push the ball down the field, throw on time a little more. It may not be 290 yards, but, you know, could it be 215, 220? I think you're going to need 215 and 220 to be in this type of game.
Why don't they throw to him more, Judkins? Like, part of he's struggling in terms of...
He's not in the game on third down.
Yeah, he's not.
But you don't have... you could throw it to the running back on first or second down.
Yeah, but those guys aren't always... Like, it's not... Those first and second down aren't always passing downs. So it's not like he's always an option.
I hear you, but like...
They don't really... With Shedeur in the game, they don't really pass the ball on first and second down. They've been...
Well, I mean, it's only been 1.5 games. You know, adjust a little bit. Like Quinshon Judkins, we've seen... When he gets a little room, he's dangerous. So get him the ball in some space.
I think sometimes we take for granted that this is what Tommy Reese's how many game?
This will be his fourth game.
This is his fourth game. He's had two different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And it's his first time calling plays in the league. So sometimes he might not. Like you said, I asked Sean. He's trying to get his flow. He's trying to understand who's who, what's the best place to get these guys involved, which is difficult to do when you take over that position in the first part of the season. So
give him some grace.
I'll give him a little grace. We'll see how you do this week.
I'd like to see Quinshon get involved in the passing game.
I would too. I hope it'll happen. I don't care if he can't pass protect or not.
Yeah.
Because Dylan Sampson can't.
I wouldn't take him out, very often. Jerome Ford's useless out there. Now, I haven't seen anything from Dylan Sampson before this past week, and he made those 2 nice
Tell us how you
plays.
really feel.
Bull be stripping people's
I gotta always
medals, bro.
keep it real.
Give me the
Yeah,
medals.
this guy's a bum.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Does
Well, I
anyone care
picked
about
the
my thoughts?
under, and that was before
well,
I knew
well,
the...
not everybody answers every one, but
Okay, well.
we should have, well, go ahead. What's your thoughts on why you got him under?
Because he would have went under last week if he didn't have the 65-yard. It was a run, basically, to Sampson. I mean, that was the huge chunk play that put him over
Right,
the
but
200
most
yards.
teams will have a play like that. It's
Really?
not that, well, maybe not 65 yards.
Okay, that's
but-
what I'm saying. Like, he's not going to go over 210 without a play like that this week.
Okay, so you don't think he's going to have a play like that?
Well, no, it's rare to have a 65-yard touchdown pass.
That's true.
So think about this, Bull. If he's throwing on average, 7 to 10 yards a pop,
Right.
and he's going to throw 20 times, like he had, what do you have, 11 completions in that game?
He did.
Okay, well that's about 100 yards.
Well, last week he averaged 10 yards per attempt, obviously because of that play and the Isaiah
I
Bond
know,
play.
and give or take.
Yeah.
But the point is, you need to have a huge chunk play or chunk plays.
Yeah.
And the Browns just don't have a ton of weapons. I mean, that was.
Yeah, that's why it's going to be hard.
It is going to be hard. It's not denigrating
It doesn't
Shedeur.
even mean
he
can play a perfectly fine
he
game
can play
and
a
not have a
fine
ton of
game
yards.
and throw for 165 yards,
Right.
and the Browns win.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's just, but it's like, we asked Sean, what is opening the playbook? When you say open the playbook, or what are you going to do, taking the training wheels off? That's a big part of what the game plan will be, because some of it is like, hey, are we going to give you a route where we're going to tell you to do the protection scheme, and we're going to have you do a full field read, and we're going to have you go through 3 different route combinations and get to your 3rd read, and then if it's there, you throw it and let it go. Those are the type of things if you want to have 250 yards, because you need to find those chunk plays outside of just the things like the screen or different things like that. It's kind of hard to pushing the ball down the field consistently 20 yards down the field.
It's also harder, G, if there's 30-mile-an-hour winds and potential inclement weather.
point. I didn't think about
I mean,
that,
listen,
yeah.
there's a lot of quarterbacks in the league that average 250 a game, but there still are games where they don't even throw for 200. Like sometimes these quarterbacks like Allen or a Drake May, they'll have a game where it's like they throw for 320.
Yeah.
Well, that skews the average up.
Yeah.
But trust me, I know, because I bet these stupid props every week.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Josh Allen's 210, easy. And he
Yeah.
goes for like 199.
You're like, dang, what
It
happened?
happens. All right, Mike.
All right, next one. Will Myles Garrett have more sacks than the Browns have plays of 20 or more yards on Sunday?
It's absurd that we have these questions, but they're legit.
It is fair. We had the Myles versus touchdowns one last week, so we have Myles versus 20-yard plays
And
last
Myles
week.
It did not go for Myles last
The
week.
touchdowns one last
even
week.
with the 3 sacks.
This week, or last week, excuse me, it was 3 versus 3 in this category. 3 20-plus yard plays, 3 sacks
Yeah.
for Myles. So which will have more? The people who think Myles will have more sacks than 20-yard plays, Dustin, Jay, and myself.
Wow.
Bull, G, Jason, Earl, and Tyvis said more 20-yard plays.
Well, you guys are lost on this one. Go ahead.
I think the weather's a big factor.
I said yes here, right?
You said yes, he'll have more sacks.
Yeah, because I think Myles is going to have 2 sacks, and I think it's going to be hard for the Browns to generate 2 plays or more of over 20 yards. I mean, we all watch the same offense every week. Just because Shedeur's out there doesn't mean things are going to change significantly. Yeah, I think he'll take some more shots down the field, but you still throwing to the same receivers.
So last week against the Raiders, how many sacks did Myles have?
3.
Okay, so he had 3. So he had 3 sacks. So if you look at it, and I'm just looking from last week, he had to throw to Bond, then he had another throw to Judy, and then there was the play to Dylan Sampson. So that was 3 plays right there. So if I'm thinking and extrapolating, I got Myles Garrett getting about 3 sacks this game. I think Quinshon Judkins will get carry over 20 yards. I think that there will be some sort of pass. I don't know what it will be. It could be a screen. It could be something for 20 yards to Jerry Jeudy. And I got Harold Fanning Jr. Catching a pass and rumbling down the field for another 20 yards. So I got the Browns offense with more than 20-yard plays. I think they actually get 4.
Yeah, I think as much as I love Myles Garrett, I'll be surprised if he gets more than 1 sack this week. First of all, we've all gotten our brains out of whack on Myles Garrett because he's on this absurd streak. But even during the streak, he had one game where he only had one sack.
It's fair.
The Niners are one of the best teams at protecting the quarterback.
And he's going to get a Trent Williams.
And you're going against one of, if not the best tackle. And now I know they moved Myles Garrett around, but just like you say, well, we don't think there's going to be big plays because it's going to be a running game and the bad weather. Well, the Niners are going to do the same thing.
It's very fair.
So
very
I don't think they're going to be dropping back to pass that much, especially if they get the lead, which is more likely than it is with the Raiders in that situation. In fact, the Niners in the last 3 weeks since Purdy's been back, that first of the 3 weeks might have still been
the first was Mac Jones. He's been back for 2 games.
Last 3 weeks, they've only allowed one sack.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's Myles Garrett, so nothing can surprise me. But I'm guessing it wouldn't even shock me if he got 0 this week. It's going to happen. There's going to be a week where he gets 0. But I think I'm going to give him 1, and I'll give the Browns 2 plays over 20 yards. I don't think they have many either, but 2-1 in terms of the Browns.
All right, next one. Will Christian McCaffrey, who leads the NFL in receptions for running backs this year, have more catches by himself than every Browns wide receiver combined? 3 of us are on the same side of the fence versus 1 on the other. So I'm going to let the 1 on the other side of the fence go first.
I'm surprised it's not 8-0.
It was not. It's a 4-4 split.
Wow.
Dustin, Bull, Earl, and Tyvis
Wow.
said yes, he will. Myself, G, Jason, and Jay said no, he won't.
You guys are.
I mean,
It's 2-2, Mike.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
I
people here.
was looking at the wrong answer.
I
Yeah.
mean,
It's bad job
if Christian McCaffrey gets 4 catches, right? Say they spam him with 5.
The average is about 6.3 per game.
Yeah.
So, look, you get these. If you just get, like, this is, to me, if you get 2 from Judy, Cedric Tillman caught a pass last week, maybe Isaiah Bond catch a little pass. By the way, them little screen passes they be throwing be counting. Like, I don't see, I think it's easy for them to get 6. Now, listen, granted, we know the tight ends are the leading receivers for the Browns. We understand that Harold Fannin Jr. usually, or David Njoku is the security blankets. But I actually think it'll end up, Christian McCaffrey will get about 4 touches, and I got the Browns receivers getting 6 total catches.
I thought this was the easiest one. I can't believe you guys. Give us your reasoning, Mike.
Well, he averages 6.5 catches per game.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny, I took weather into account for some of the other ones. I did not take weather into account for this one. But to think all the receivers combined can't get 7 catches.
Have you not watched this team all
I
year?
know, and I went back, but I was hoping like he's going to throw.
By the way, you think he's only going to get 6 catches, McCaffrey?
He averages 6.5.
Yeah, he'll have about 10 this week.
Why would you not assume he'd be over his
You know
average
what?
this
Listen,
week?
if Bull could flip-flop earlier, I'm going to flip-flop on this one. I'm flip-flopping to the other side.
I'd be shocked
I'm
if
flip-flopping
McCaffrey had
to the
less
side.
than 8 catches. I bet you he gets 10 in this game.
You talked me into it. I'm
10
flip-flopping.
catches is a lot, bro.
He's done. Here's McCaffrey by week.
What do you have Monday? Like 8?
Here's McCaffrey by week in terms of, now 10 is a lot. He hasn't done 10 very often, but his receptions, 7, 5, 8, 5, 3, 7, 7, 8, 6, 10, 6, 9.
But here's the reason why.
Last 3 weeks, 25.
You just said it.
No, you counted backwards, Bull. His last 3 weeks are 20.
Oh, those were the old, okay, yeah, 7 this past week. 7, yeah.
You made the point, like, talking about Myles Garrett and his sacks.
Yeah.
Like, this is a game where Brock Purdy's got to get rid of the ball so fast.
Right.
And he knows his clock is going to be
That's
like
right.
super hyper on, right?
Yep.
And so those quick things, it's like, there, McCaffrey. He's going to have 10 catches or more.
They've targeted him 23 times the last 3 weeks, and he has 20 catches. Like, when they throw it to him, he almost always catches it.
I got him for 4 or 5 catches.
Wow.
Sorry.
I got
You're
4 or
nuts.
5
You're nuts.
catches.
He's only had less than 6 3 times this year.
So here's what I would say, right? Same thing with Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
If I come into this football game and I'm Jim Schwartz, I don't care nothing about none of your receivers. If your receivers want to kill me downfield and you got that much time to throw deep, have at it. But if I'm him, I'm like, okay, Christian McCaffrey, where is he at? That's the guy. I got somebody running around with him the whole game. That's what I'm doing, because you don't got time to be going down the field like that.
Right, but it's not like you can put a corner on Christian McCaffrey.
No, we're going. Look, if he wants,
and you got to worry about Kittle around there too.
So here's another thing too.
Yeah.
Are they going to keep him in the block some, or are they going to put him in a pass route? Because
Yeah.
if they want to put him in a pass route, then that's one less blocker.
What are the Browns wide receiver catches per game average?
Average per game?
I mean, that's so pitiful.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
This is going to be depressing.
Yeah, give me
It's gonna be very
the Browns wide receivers. How many catches does Bond have?
Well, Judy has 32 in 11 games, so 2.9 per game.
Okay.
Bond has 13 in 10 games, so 1.3.
So that's 4.2.
Mm-hmm.
Tillman has 17 in 7 games, so that's like 2.2.
So that's 6.6.
Thrash has 10 in 9 games, so 1.
I'm not counting him. He doesn't even
We
play
don't count
anymore.
him.
Corley, do we want to count him?
All right, go ahead.
He has 5 catches in 7 games, so 0.8.
So that's 7.4.
And do we want to count Gage Larvadan?
Okay.
He has 2 in 7 games, so 0.3.
So
how big is that?
the Browns wide receivers combined, we'll take out, what's his name?
Thrash.
Thrash, because he isn't really playing anymore. Their other wide receivers combined are only averaging 1 reception more per game than Christian McCaffrey. That's crazy.
So then don't make it seem crazy that I said yes, that the whole collection
Thank
could have
you.
more.
Okay, I
Thank
will.
you.
Fair, it's not crazy, but considering the weather,
I mean, we had a quarterback playing that wouldn't push the ball downfield.
right? But even with Shedeur last week, how many catches did the wide receivers have?
Not a lot.
I mean, he only
Less
had
than McCaffrey did.
He only had 11 completions. I told you, I got him for 6 receptions.
Yeah.
And McCaffrey got 5. It's
Last-
only a difference of 1.
That's true. Last week, McCaffrey had 7. Browns receivers had less than 7. I don't know.
They
how
had 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. Last week, McCaffrey had more by 2.
So I'm not. I
right.
didn't say the Browns.
It's not
receivers-
crazy. It's
I
certainly
ain't
not
saying
crazy.
the Browns receivers are getting 10. I said they get 6, and that's still Minimowski. That's still Minimowski.
That's super Minimowski.
I mean, that's bottom of the barrel.
Can you believe this conversation?
Like,
That's
this
what
is
we've come down
insane.
to. and
Thank
It's
you.
sad.
This is insane.
I
And
was
as
like-
crazy as these questions are, Bull, we're getting 4-4 splits, which means people are actually thinking none of these are 8-0. Like the
I
next,
mean, we're talking about a running back, a great running back, but a running back versus an entire wide receiving core.
I mean, but he's really good. Like, he's in the Marshall Faulk mode. Marshall
Yeah.
Faulk.
yes,
I mean,
but it's also part of it's how good he is.
Yeah.
The other part is that the
how
Browns have
bad
a
the Browns receivers. are.
hideous
Yeah.
wide receiving core. Go
All right,
ahead.
let's get to the next one, guys. Against the Raiders, Quinshawn had 12 rushing yards from the wild dog formation. Will he have more or less than 8 rushing yards from the wild dog against the 49ers? 12 against the Raiders. The line is at 8 on this one. More. Dustin, Tyvis, Bull, and G said it's going to happen. Less. Jason J, Earl, and myself.
We don't even know they're going to run the wild dog.
That's
They
why-
ran it like 6
That's
weeks
why I
ago
went-
and then
that's
didn't
why I
run it
went
for
less.
5 weeks.
That's why I went less. You went
Yeah.
more, Bull.
Yeah, but I mean,
I went less also.
they also didn't have
No, you went
Shedeur
more.
in weeks. So like,
Oh, I'm
Shedeur
flip-flopping.
changed.
I made a mistake
yeah.
then.
They want to take the rookie out of the game
Yeah.
so that he doesn't make a mistake, I think, in the red zone. And so you put Judkins in the game, and it's a less riskier proposition.
You convinced the Browns are going to be in the red zone all that often?
I'm not.
this game?
I'm not.
That's part of it. Is I don't think the Browns are going to be in the red zone that much
The
this
question is
game.
8 yards.
Well, it's a lot in a formation they've only run 4 times this season.
No.
Well, first off, it was very successful this past weekend.
It was, but it was successful 6 weeks ago with Dylan Gabriel, and then they didn't do it again.
He only needs one, dude. He needs one
I mean,
run.
you do have to think about it like this, though. Like,
Yeah.
they ran it once when Kevin Stefanski was calling plays.
Yeah.
Then Tommy Reese took over, and they ran it when he did. Now, if you go back and watch it on film, and we talked about this with Wyatt Teller and those guys, the Browns had an opportunity to go back and be physical. Like, they had an opportunity to kind of, get back to the wheels of time and go back. Listen, Quinshawn Judkins runs that play very well. If you watch how he sets his blockers up, he runs past people. He's able to run. He's physical. And you look at the plays that they're running.
He gets downhill to hurt.
That's a quick little 3-4 yards immediately.
But
until they stop it, I'm going to continue
Run it
to
10
run that.
times a game if it's so unstoppable.
I would.
Yeah.
If we get in the red zone,
the Raiders didn't know what – it was like the Raiders had no idea what was going on.
And by the way, I'd incorporate a pass this week too.
By the way, they had
Gotta have one in.
Do we count his passing yards
The
if he
jet
gets it?
motion, the pop pass, the jump pass.
Yeah.
Either the revert, the motion, the jet motion, or the sweep to Larverdane or to Bond is coming, or the jump pass is coming. I'm telling you right now,
right.
they set it up. But 8 yards is easy money.
Yeah, they're setting it up.
Mike, did you say yards or rushing yards specifically in the question?
I just said will gain more or less than 8 yards.
There's a loophole.
Yeah,
There's a loophole for passing yards in there then.
Ha!
All right, next one, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to the other rookie running back. Dylan Sampson had a biggest game of his season against the Raiders. He had more than 30 all-purpose yards on the one big pass play. He had 22 yards on a rush play. So will he get more than 30 all-purpose yards? 30 against the San Francisco 49ers. I kind of want to flip-flop on this one again.
Who are the prisoner of the moment, people?
I think I said no.
You three all said no. Jay, Jason, and myself said yes.
Nah, you guys prisoner of the
But
moment. right there.
I'm flip-flopping. This is the show of flip-floppers. I'm flip-flopping
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
I'm on
I'm
the no
shocked
side.
that
Switch
Jason
the
is
nugget
a
over
yes.
to the right.
Hey,
I'm on the wrong side here.
The only yes I expected was Jay.
Jay. Yeah.
There is no, like, listen, the Duke and knee jerk ain't even really been, my knees is solid. I've been icing them down, bro.
No, that's bad job by me.
What
Bad
you
job by me.
think? You think they going, he's
He
going
had-
to spot shadow this week?
I mean, I know he had those 2 great plays. Kudos to him, but he hasn't done anything else the rest of the year.
That
I mean,
was on accident, too. Like,
Yeah.
You think, you look at, now, I almost said this, 'cause I wasn't going to get in the weeds with it, but is he returning kicks?
Return yards didn't count. Return yards did not.
return
Okay. Now, if he was returning
that's true. He
yards-
is returning kicks.
If he's returning kicks, okay, but
I specified this was just rushing, receiving,
Rushing,
return yards.
receiving.
nah, he's not. Matter
no
of fact,
loophole on that one for you,
I got
Mikey.
him with no yards rushing. That's not gonna happen.
By the way, you want to hear something funny? He had 7 rushes for 23 yards against the Raiders and a long of 26.
Right. Give me the stats for his receiving yards. It's the same thing.
2 for 59, long of 66.
The rest of his plays were negative plays.
I mean,
So he had 9 touches in the game. He had 66 plus 26 is 92
92.
yards. And then on the other 7 touches, he had negative 9 yards.
Were you 83 yards total?
Yeah.
there's a lot of plays where Browns running backs be getting hit in the backfield.
Yeah.
Like literally, like they're getting contacted.
Their line stinks.
Yeah, I don't.
And their best lineman is probably still Batonio, and he's retiring. Wyatt Teller is going down the tubes. I don't care. I know he's everybody's buddy. He was sitting there whining last week. He got beaten in half a second.
Yeah,
He's not playing well.
I mean,
And their tackles, we know, are terrible. So
if I would love to just draft 10 linemen, but we don't.
they really need to.
They do.
I mean,
They need to draft like 5 linemen next offensive linemen.
I'd rather have undrafted free agents at all the skill positions, but have like first through third round guys on the offensive line, defensive line.
they kind of need to do that.
I mean, when you watch it,
Although
like,
they need wide receivers too.
Yeah, that's true.
they be in the backfield. I'm like, who got him? Hey, Dustin, he used to play running back in high school. You was like, hey, you look around like, who's blocking this dude? Like, you just like, man, be people in the backfield. I feel sorry for running backs, man. The only way the play is over is either you
Thankfully,
score.
thankfully, like in high school, you can get away with like making guys miss.
Yeah.
Like college and pros, no chance.
No, yeah. Like if somebody's unblocked,
Unblocked,
you're
screwed.
done. Lay it down. Lay it down.
If you had played running back at Division III, you think you would have been like a Heisman, whatever they call it, Division III? I can't
Division
remember.
3, yeah.
You think you would have been that good?
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna toot my own horn.
Yeah.
but I
played against- I played when he
D1
was-
offers. Like I was like
play running
I was
back.
McCaffrey in high school.
I played against him when he
You a
played
good
running
pass
back.
catcher?
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like he played, like
Yeah.
When we had the scouting report, they was like, who do they got? They said they got Dustin Fox, and that's what we looking
I had
at.
like 35 touchdowns my senior
The
year.
rest of your team was not any good?
We were okay.
it was good, but
We were good. We were like we were 8-2 my senior year.
Yeah.
It was good, man.
But I didn't play defense. I carried the ball 30-something times a game.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about it. Like,
Yeah.
I
Was most of the rest of your team playing both ways?
Oh yeah. But they
They
ran
had,
me ragged though, dude.
They had Jason's son in 9th grade football playing both ways, playing every play. That's ridiculous.
Depends on the numbers of kids.
That's ridiculous.
Too.
You can't have him every play. That's stupid.
I don't think it's very smart, but some
No.
teams have to.
I mean,
some teams have 25
Nah, they
kids.
had kids on the bench. They just didn't want to
Oh.
play them. That's not.
I mean,
Well,
that's
Jason's kid's a pretty good stud.
but still, he's in the 9th grade. Like he doesn't need to play every play.
two plays, we don't come out.
Yeah.
Michigan
We got
State,
one
Michigan
more
State offered
fence
me
rider,
to play
guys.
tailback.
One more fence rider. and then we'll do super chats.
I don't
to wrap
think they've
up
won a
today's show.
conference game, by the way.
Well,
Michigan State.
They need to hire a new coach.
Yeah.
Michigan State stinks.
Go ahead.
Last, no offense, rather than super chats.
Yeah.
Will Shedeur have more than one wow throw, just like his throw to Isaiah Bond,
Yeah.
versus the 49ers? Anthony put Raiders, but it's supposed to be the 49ers.
I think I said yes.
All four of us said yes, including Earl
Look at that.
and Tyvis. And the two negative Nancys, Angry Jay and Angrier Jason, said no.
They're miseries, those two.
Yeah, there is. I mean, it's only 2 throws. You know what I'm saying? Like there's. So I'll say this: when you watching pros, right? Geno Smith had 3 wild throws against the Browns.
Yeah.
No, he actually had about 4.
I guess it depends how you define wild throws, right?
There was throws where he was getting hit. He threw the ball with anticipation, and Tyson Campbell had swiped down over the arm to try to, and the dude caught the. I'm like, dang, that was a crazy ball. That was pros make them plays. You see 2 wild throws, you just say we just used to saying good throw. So if you got a decent quarterback,
Yeah.
I think Shedeur will make wild throws every game.
yeah, like
I mean, he's got a hell of an arm. He like that's what he does.
that's his like he can do
He's
that.
gonna be be a rookie at times and make some poor decisions and poor throws, but like he's going to have wow moments. The throw he threaded the needle against the Ravens was a wow throw.
Yeah, that was a wild one. The one they almost caught was a wild. I think the thing with Shedeur is people should be. We've seen those throws before. It's the other things, like it's the management of the game. It's the figuring out, can you scramble and finding out the timing. I think he'll continue to make those throws. It's just the progression and everything else. But I mean, I'm not. We've seen this at Colorado. I saw this all the time.
By the way, I just got a text from a former Super Bowl champion,
really?
The
Brandon
punter.
Stokely.
Brandon Stokely.
Oh, Stokely.